and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy. I teach music and I read a bunch of different books of all different genres: thriller, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, nonfiction, all the types. So if you like that sort of thing, then please like and subscribe to my channel down below. You can follow me on all social media handles at rainybluereads. It really helps my channel grow. In today's video, we are doing a fun haunted house reading vlog. I feel like it's really hard to find a haunted house book that actually is haunted and creepy and good and doesn't just fall flat at the end, because honestly the ending kind of makes or breaks it for haunted house books. And so I am reading four books in this vlog. Three that are pretty recent releases, and they came out either last year or this year, and then one that came out the year before that. So honestly they're all pretty recent releases, but one is a friend. So the four books that I'm reading, I'm not going to be able to hold up all of them because I got rid of at least one of them or two of them because it didn't go that well. As you'll see, this vlog is interesting. I'm going to be reading How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, which we have a love-hate relationship with Mr. Hendrix. Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, and I have read The Echo Wife by her and absolutely loved it. The Spite House by Johnny Compton, I believe, and he's this is his debut novel. I've never read it before. It was a book selection for Kayla's book club, I believe, in February. And then Haunt by Ren Montgomery, which is my friend's book that I have put on TBRs 30 different times, and finally we are getting to it, and I read it in this vlog. And I will say, this vlog goes off the rails. I do not have a very successful time, but there is one diamond in the rough within this book, or within this vlog, so you're just gonna have to see what all happens. I also have some footage of my concert that I went to with my friend a couple weeks ago, and also just now, I started this vlog back in April because I figured if I read all the haunted house books before October, I would have the vlog ready, because I know myself, I'm very bad when I have a really short deadline. However, I'm still really bad because I finished this the day that the book video was supposed to go up. This just took me forever and a half. Not because I didn't enjoy it, it just took me forever because of the content. So anyway, it took me from April to October to give you this video, but we're going to talk through these haunted house videos, or haunted house vlogs, no spoilers, and see if I find a good one. Alright. Off we go with book one. First update for this haunted house vlog. The first book I am reading is Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House. I was supposed to read this in March for Gabby's book troop, but it is now currently April 2nd, and I started it yesterday. So you know what? It is what it is, but I still wanted to read it. I still have to have a couple of other haunted house books in this vlog. Two of them are newer releases. One of them is my friend's release, and so it'll be a good time. But I waited to update you until I got to the 20% mark, which is actually part 2 of this book, because this book is divided into, I believe, Lincoln. This book is divided into the 5 different sections of grief, because I'm pretty sure it's a grief horror book, as my friend Neva told me. And so I believe it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I just read the denial section, and now I have moved on to the anger section. And so if you don't know what this book is about, it is about Louise and Mark, and they're brother-sister, and they don't have a good relationship. He lives close to her parents, but she doesn't, but they just don't have a good relationship in general. A tragic accident happens to her family, and her parents end up dying, and her kid is 5. And so she has to fly across the country to help take care of the funeral and figure out what they're gonna do with their parents' house. And their mom was obsessed with weird puppet dolls and all this other stuff, and basically some freaky stuff starts happening when they start trying to sell the house. The house has a mind of its own. It's haunted, hence why it's in this haunted house vlog. So I have read up to the anger section, and so a lot of it so far has just been what's happened to them, getting to see Louise and Mark's relationships and the relationships with the other family members, and we finally got to the part where they're finally okay, we have to do something about this house. And I'm actually really liking it so far, and that is high praise for me, because I start off Grady Hendrix books either really, really loving them or kind of liking them, and then they go bad. And this is 20% in, and I can still say I'm really enjoying this. So you know what? This might be a winner. We don't know. We don't know. But for now, I plan on going to the grocery store with Lincoln right now. I'm going to try and maybe listen to some of the anger section while I'm there, because audio book listening while you're at a grocery store is a brilliant idea. And then we'll see where we get from there. I'm also just trying to make it through, because today I am 35 weeks pregnant, and little babe keeps trying to come early. She keeps giving me false labor pains and all this stuff. And Lincoln wants to make sure you see his book too. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, I will come back to you with an update very soon. Hello.
update from my table, and I'm going to be a little bit quiet while I update because my husband is asleep and my son. I just got back really late from My Fair Lady. I went to go see it today at this one popular theater in my town, and it was from 7:30 to 10:30, and then I was stuck in the parking lot for half an hour. So that was fun. So it's like 11:40 at night, and I still have to make my lunch before I go to school tomorrow. But I figured I'd do an update on Grady Hendrix. So I am about 150 pages in, and this is about a 400-page book, so I'm about 36-ish, 35-36% of the way through. I'm still really enjoying this, but it's kind of just for me right now. So like, without spoilers, they're just basically going through the house at this point and like figuring out like what they want to sell, what they want to keep, and then the haunted stuff is starting to happen. And they're realizing they're going to have a lot more trouble selling this than they thought because it is haunted. I feel like it's kind of starting to drag though, and that it's taken a long time to get to where we're at in the story. And I'm not really seeing where the anger part ties in, like the whole like levels of grief and whatnot, but I'm still enjoying this, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would, considering I don't like Grady Hendrix. So I'm just going to keep on trucking along. Tomorrow I have rehearsal for my spring arts show, which is this week, but I'm done at 11:20, and so I'm going to do a lot of schoolwork, but also maybe spend some time reading tomorrow and really like try to knock this out, because I have a couple of buddy reads I need to get started on ASAP, and I want to get to the next haunted house book in this vlog, so we will see. But that's where I'm at, and I'll come back to you with another update soon.
Hello, y'all. I come to you with an update on how to sell a haunted house. I am now 70% in. I just got to part 4 out of 5 in the book, where it is on depression. So I just finished the bargaining section. And it has taken a turn like most Grady Hendrix books do, where it gets too weird or too... I don't know if I'm here for it. And so I am going to have a spoiler section for this book. So if you have not read this book, do not listen to the spoiler section. It'll say spoilers on the screen, and then when I'm done, I will cut back to this. So, spoilers. Here we go. So, we are 70% into this book, and I was actually watching Gabby reads the beginning of her live show for Book Troop, and Gavin was supposed to give a description of what the book was about, or a summary, and he goes, well, do I give the actual summary or a misleading summary? And she's like, what's the misleading summary? And he's like, the book, like what it says is about. And then when I was like, oh, interesting, which made me think, okay, so it's not a haunted house story, is what he's saying. It's just very misleading. And as of right now, I would not call this a haunted house story. I would call this a haunted puppet story. And I knew there was going to be puppets in this because the mom was obsessed with puppets, and like it's been brought up a lot. But if I had known that this main puppet character named Pupkin was going to be such a big character and have the most god-awful annoying voice ever, by the by, and just be in it so much as like a very main character, I don't know that I would have picked this up, because I don't know if the puppet thing is my vibe. And the thing that like lost it for me was when Mark, the brother, was telling his story about his experience with Pupkin growing up, and how Pupkin could take over his body, and he would like wear Pupkin and become Pupkin, and then lo and behold, that happens again when they're in the house, and Pupkin takes over Mark. And Mark starts trying to kill his sister and like hitting her in the head with a hammer as she's trying to like stop him. And then his old imaginary dog Spider, that's like this mutant monster dog, comes. I kid you not, an imaginary dog is attacking them both, and Pupkin is attacking them both. And then in order to stop Pupkin and get him disconnected from Mark, she saws off her brother's arm. His arm! I'm like, what? And so the last like 10-15 pages are him in the hospital recovering from getting his arm chopped off by his sister so they could get rid of this demon puppet, and she goes back into the house and burns Pupkin alive, and Pupkin is finally gone, and she's like, my house is no longer haunted. And there's still 110 pages of this book. I can't. An imaginary dog cutting off your brother's arm. My friend said I have to keep going, and that it'll explain everything in the end, and I just have to keep going. And so you know what? I believe my friend. But this I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know what my rating's going to be. I don't know. I just have to let these last 100 pages, like, let it ride out, you know? Anyway, that's the end of my spoiler section. So, I'm very unsure what I'm going to rate this when I get to the end. It really depends on how it all evens out, and I just... that's really all the words we have here. Anyway, I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to continue to categorize books in my office. I am putting stickers on all of the back of them right now so that I know what platforms the audio is available on. And I'm also making a spreadsheet as well. Yes, I know. Very weird, nerdy, techie of me. Which my sister is here, so she's going to get to help me with that. And then I have my spring arts showcase tomorrow. And so I would like to finish this tonight because I don't think I'm going to read anything tomorrow because it's the spring arts show. But and then it's Good Friday and I have the day off because I'm at a private Christian school. So woohoo to that. All right. I'll check in with you soon on another update. This was a 3-star. I actually went into this a lot more hopeful because I was really enjoying the first 100 pages of this book, and everyone was telling me, oh, it's a 5-star, oh, it's a 5-star, oh, it's a 5-star. However, I know my relationship with Mr. Grady Hendrix, so I still went in a little anticipating of that, or hesitant of that. And then we got to the weird puppet shit, and it all went downhill from there. I'm not about puppets. I'm not about a puppet named Pumpkin, or Pupkin, whatever his name was. And I am not about them basically becoming a main character in this book, and then having to listen to their annoying-ass voice throughout the whole rest of the audiobook. I'm not about it. I'm not saying I can't love puppets. I'm just saying it didn't work for me in this book. I do think this is a great book on grief horror, and I do really like how it ended, but it's just not for me. It was not for me. I am still glad I read it, but Pupkin is a no. No to Pupkin. Hello, this is once again car updates with Rainy while husband is driving. And this time, oh my gosh, the wind is blowing my hair crazy, but we're going to deal with it. This time we are talking about Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, which is the second book in our Haunted House vlog. And I mean, this cover is just stunning. Isn't it? Yeah. He's very riveted, of course. Okay, so I don't think I've talked about what this book is about yet. It's about this girl named Vera, and her mom calls and basically says, you need to come home. Apparently she's dying, and she like wants her to come home and live in their old house, like to help her organize her stuff before she dies. But their home is not haunted, but it's tainted by the evil deeds that her dad did. Their dad was a serial killer and basically killed a bunch of people in their basement, and so she doesn't want to come back to the house. And then she starts getting weird, creepy like notes from like his journal that she keeps finding all throughout the house, and she's wondering if it's the crazy artist that lives in that house now with them too that's doing it, or if there's something more haunting going afoot. So that is what's happening.
A haunted foot.
There's no haunted foot. Anyway, I'm about 40% in, and I am just kind of meh about this book. I mean, I don't hate it, I don't love it, it's just kind of whatever. I have heard that the ending either works for you or doesn't, and a lot of people, I've not honestly heard anyone really rant and rave about this book yet, so I'm not sure. But right now it's like, okay. It keeps going back and forth between chapters where like Vera was little, I guess to like set up what happened with her dad, which we haven't gotten to that part yet, and then like the present day, which is just her always arguing with her mom and like not getting along with the artist dude. He's kind of weird, and like there's a history there with his dad as well. So I'm just kind of wondering when the haunted stuff is going to kick in. It's not very spooky ooky just yet, but it's alright. I loved The Echo Wife by this author, so I'm hoping that this turns itself around. And that's what it's all about.
Netflix.
What?
haunted feet.
Okay, it doesn't have haunted feet. Okay.
It would probably be better if it did.
Alright, I'll update you later. Hello. I'm currently on my couch. I am about 73% into this book. And the update is, it is completely unhinged. I know when I came to you last, I was probably like 40% in, and I wasn't sure about this book, and I was going to DNF it. I'm not DNFing it now. That is not the case. Because something happened at like 50%, and I was like, okay. And then I got to the 65% mark and went, holy freaking crap. I was not expecting that. It went in a total direction that I was not expecting, and I'm quite intrigued now, and I have to know how this is going to end. And I don't want to say anything because it is total spoilers, but if you've read this book, I'm just wondering where it's going to go downhill from here, because I'm very intrigued to see what happens. But I'm really liking it now. So the second half is turning it around. However, because the first half was so painstakingly slow, I really don't see this getting more than a 4 stars if I end up enjoying it. But it's on its way. It has potential now, unlike it did before. So I'm going to keep reading. And then I have to deal with little Jim Bob, who fell asleep. Why? Why? I loved The Echo Wife, and I don't love this. It started out really boring. I was 50% in, and I was dragging my feet on whether I should finish it. And then Haley from Haley Hughes said to keep going. And I did, and I got to the 65% mark, and something happened, and I went, ooh, slay. This is the direction we're headed. I can vibe with this. And then it went downhill from there, and the ending was so god-awful and confusing and just stupid, and I can't get on board with it. I can't. So it slowly went from like a 3 or a 4 down to a little 2. I'm only not giving it a 1 because it wasn't like offensive to me, and I do like Sarah Gailey as a person, but no, I did not like it. Would not recommend. I don't get the hype. I mean, there was no hype. Honestly, I haven't heard that many people say that this book was like a slam dunk for them, so it was not for me, unfortunately. And that's all we're gonna say about it, because I'm gonna probably sell it, and it hurts my heart to have to get rid of this pretty book. Hello friends, finally getting to The Spite House by Johnny Compton for this Haunted House horror vlog. And this one is about a guy named Eric, and he is on the run from some sort of past with his 2 daughters. One of them is older and one of them is way younger, and I still don't really know 50% in, because I'm about 50% in, what his past is, so I'm still waiting to figure that out. He comes across this ad for this house in Texas where basically it needs a caretaker to like just stay in there and keep a detailed record of everything that happens there, because like it's haunted and the owners are trying to figure out like what's wrong with the actual place, but they're hoping that the house's horrors don't make them go mad like everybody in the past has, like the caretakers before and stuff. And so we're starting to slowly figure out what's happened to these other caretakers prior. And of course he's going to get paid a lot of money to do it. There are a couple of things that I'm not liking about this. Honestly, I don't know how this book is going to go, but there are too many perspectives. Like, I am listening to this on audio, and I thought I knew the 3 main characters, because we have Eric the dad, and then we have Des the daughter, and then we have Stacy the youngest daughter. But then you also have Eunice, who's the owner, and then you have this girl named Molly, who I think is like one of the town neighbors, and then you have like all these other people. You have Max, which was like one of the past caretakers, and then you have other perspectives that come in, like LaFonda, and I'm like, who the heck is LaFonda? I'm just trying to keep up here. This book is only 240 pages. How do you have that many perspectives in that short of a book? I don't know. So that's been throwing me off, because it takes me a minute to figure out like who I'm listening to in the story and like what their importance is. And then other than that, it's just been kind of boring. Like, I know this is supposed to be like a slow burn thriller, but I'm just not really vibing with it. Like, a couple of haunted house things have happened, and I'm liking some of the stories about like the history behind the Spite House and everything, but I don't know. If this book doesn't start to pick up a lot sooner, we might be not saying goodbye because it's so short, but we just might not be loving this book. And I don't want to hate this book. I really don't, but I don't foresee this going well. So I'm about to clean my house because my grandparents are coming tonight to see the baby, because she's a month old today. Here's her beautiful 1-month photo, because she's the cutest. And then we are going to go to dinner, and so I need to clean the house because she's asleep, and so that's the best time to clean. All right, off I go. Update at some point. I have decided to DNF as of today, and that is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I got to 70% of this book, and then I had to give it up. And I really only read 40% of it because I could not tell you what happened in the last 30% of this book. I was listening to it solely via audio while I was cleaning and doing other stuff, and I just missed a lot of stuff. I mean, I missed a lot of stuff, because when people told me what happened in the end and how all these clues that were in it, I go, wait, what? That happened? Yeah, so I missed a lot. But to be fair, was I gonna love it? Because Cassandra Claw from Nothing But Blackened Teeth liked it on the back. I will say, I think it had potential, and I feel bad because this is a debut author, Johnny Compton, and he just looks so cute and so sweet in his cover, but I did not like this. I did not like this Sam I Am. I would not eat this with a hat. I would not eat it on a rat. I would not do it. So I just... And there were way too many perspectives. That was the thing that killed me. There was like 10 different perspectives in this book, and I could not keep up with all of them, and I could not remember who was who, nor did I care to keep up with who was who. It was just really killing me, if we're being honest. Editing Rainy coming in to say the footage that I had for this part got corrupted, so do with it what you will. Basically, I was going to say I'm not having a successful time so far because How to Sell a Haunted House is 3 stars, and Just Like Home is 2 stars, and I DNF'd The Spite House. So, like, Haunt is really my last chance to have a redeeming haunted house book. And I don't know if it's gonna make it or not. I just don't know, guys. I'm really struggling here. But it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, back to the show.
Right. Izzy got us floor seats for the Noah Con.
Accidentally!
Here we go.
Show the whole... You're doing such a bad job.
You do it.
Feels like I've been ready for you to come home for so long. Kept on driving straight and left our future to the right. Now I'm stuck between my anger and the plane that I can't face. And memories or something, even smoking weed, it's no replace. And I am terrified of weather, cause I see you when it rains. And Doc told me to travel, but there's COVID on the planes. And I'm bound for Vermont, but it's the season of mistakes. And I saw your mom, she forgot that I existed. It's my fault, but I just like to play the victim. I'll drink alcohol till my friends come home for Christmas. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that break my head, but I can't go lose. Now you're tired of tracks and one pair of shoes, and I'm splitting half that old.
Hello, friends. Alright, so, it's like 10:30 at night, the day before this vlog is supposed to go up. And like I said, this vlog has been happening since April, and it is now the middle of October, and I need to post this freaking haunted house vlog. So if it doesn't go up tomorrow, I'm going to be sad. Anyway, I'm here to do an update. First off, baby Eloise is having some troubles. She's in the 6-month sleep regression, where the last 2 nights, she's woken up every hour, on the hour, scream crying, and not going to sleep. And so we're going on day 3 of no sleep, my husband and I. And right now she's asleep, and we're praying that she's going to stay asleep. But your girl is dying, okay? I'm dying on the inside, but it's okay. I'm still going to you with this vlog update. So I am reading Haunt, like I said, by my friend Ren Montgomery. This is finally the vloggy vlog where I am reading it. I know I've talked about this book in TBRs at least 4 or 5 times by now. Sorry, my friend Ren, but you know what? The reason I didn't want to read this is because my friend Ren said that he's been pulling from his own experiences in this book. And so every time I'm reading like a triggering scene, I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, did this happen to my friend Ren? Like, that's wild if that did. Like, I don't know what's real, what's fake. Because I do know that he grew up, one of the houses that he lived in growing up was haunted. And so I'm always just wondering, like, did this happen? But then also, like, there's literally every trigger warning under the sun is in here. There is a lot of physical and mental abuse from, like, the husband to the wife and from the husband or the dad towards the kids. There's sexual assault. There's religious trauma. There's, I mean, hauntings. There's ghosts. There's, like, all this, like, freaky deaky crap. There's animal cruelty in here and animal violence. So like, if any of that is triggering to you, then you are not going to want to pick up this book. This book is not for the faint of heart. Let's just settle it down right there. But is it a spooky experience? Yes. I feel like I'm finally getting into the spookiness of it at about 54%, which is where I'm at currently. And this book is a chunker because my friend loves to write. So this is like a 460 page book and I'm on like page 255 or something like that. Anyway, so basically what this book is about is it is about this family with Pete and May Stewart, and they're the mom and the dad. And the dad is like very abusive because he's an alcoholic and a drunk. And they're on the verge of divorce, and so he decides to move them into this new house, him and his 3 little girls, Lori, Robin, and Kelly, into a brand new house in this brand new subdivision. But basically, they find themselves in the middle of the nightmare because there's something malevolent that walks into their home. The house is haunted, freaky shit is going down, and so, like, they're having to deal with that, essentially. But it's also very religious trauma filled because like she is very like Bible Belt believer and like the dad is an atheist, and so they're struggling with that, and her friends are all like very like too extreme in their Christian faith, basically being like, if you don't submit to the husband, like you're disobeying God. Even when he like physically assaults you, like you need to still submit to him. There's like a lot of trauma going on, okay? I thought I heard the baby and it was my cat. Thank Jesus. Don't sound like a baby cat. Okay, anyway, so there's a lot of this is going on. And so all this, what's happened so far is like the first 100 pages, it was really slow going, so like not much was going on. They were setting it up. What's interesting about this book is that, I think this was the first book he wrote, he alternates perspectives between all of the characters. You get perspectives from Lori, from Robin, from Kelly, and then from Pete and May. I think that's it, those 5 perspectives. However, it's still in third person when you go into their perspectives. So it's not first person, which is interesting to me. Because, like, it feels like, why did you write in the perspectives? My friend just said he had never written in first perspective before. And so, like, it was fine. It's not like it's jarring. It's not like it takes you out of the scene. That just took a minute for me to be like, wait, this is still in third person. It's just an interesting way of being formatted. So, like, for example, Pete might have 2 pages, and then it switches over to Kelly, and then it switches over to Lori, and then back to May, and then Pete, and then whatever. Like, all within one chapter. But, like, the first 100 pages was it, like, setting up the story, like, them moving to the house and, like, freaky stuff happening. And, of course, like, the dad's never seeing it and the mom's not really believing them and, you know, stuff's going down. And then we got to, like, page 250 and a lot of freaky deaky instances have happened. And there were a couple of scenes that were honestly really triggering to read just because I was thinking about my friend throughout all of this. I'm wondering if they've gone through that. Like, I'm not, obviously, like, I'm not here to read abuse and religious trauma because I know that I have friends that like don't go to church anymore because of stuff like this. And so it's just very eye-opening to me. But I'm still really enjoying it, and I feel like it's about to pop off and get to like the really haunted crap stuff because like there's ghosts that are walking around this place, like freaky ghosts. Like we're getting there, right? We're vibing. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to actually realistically finish this book by tomorrow, so this vlog might come out a day late. Sue me. I mean, this vlog is like way later than that because I started in April, if we're being honest. But it's fine. It's fine. All things are fine. Hello, friends. I am headed, I'm going to put you right here. Hello, friends. I'm headed to Circus to work on a duo routine with my friend for this downtown arts show that we have coming up, and so I figured, what is that noise? I figured I'd give an update on Haunt because I am 70% into the book, and so I want to give one more update before I actually tell you my thoughts on this book. The book is getting crazy. Crazy. There are demon children. There's not possession, but there's demons. There's witchcraft. There's all this weird hocusy-pocusy stuff. There's like, I don't know how to explain this book. Like I said, it's very triggering. We have definitely gotten to the haunted portion of the book, and it's getting a lot crazier because like only some of the people in the family, the ones that actually actively believe in the Lord, I think, can see all the demons and shit. And then the dad can't see it because he's an atheist, and two of the kids can't see the stuff because they kind of believe in God, kind of don't, like, you know, because like there's a lot of like religious stuff going on in this book. Anyway, I have no idea how this is going to end because like they want to move, the dad doesn't want to move, like I don't know if they're going to move, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know how, like, what's going to come to a head and all of this. My friend said that like the last couple chapters and that the epilogue gets really crazy, and that no, that did not happen, no, the abuse wasn't like that, and this other stuff, and that they just kind of went off the rails to like make the book a little more interesting. So good to keep that in mind. Sorry, this road is like extremely bumpy, and also my arm is getting tired from propping the phone up on the driving wheel. But anyway, so it's very interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I honestly think it's gonna be one of those books that I just don't know how to rate it until I finish it. I mean, I'm liking it, I am enjoying it, I just don't know where it's gonna go, if we're being honest. And so I'm just gonna have to wait on that to make a call. Hopefully I love it, because I think my friend would hate me if I didn't. But yeah, so that is the plan, and I'm about to hit the circus, so I will see you in a little bit.
Hi friends, last time we chatted, I was in the car, and since then, I have finished this book. And this book, I don't know how to feel about this book, because this book is extremely triggering. It got worse and worse as we went. Like, the abuse got worse, and the haunted shit got worse. And believe me, it was very haunted. So honestly, I'm probably gonna land on a 4.5 or a 5, even a 5-star, because this book did what it said to do. This was a haunted house in its finest. What was hard for me was just knowing, and maybe it won't be the same if you read this book because you don't know my friend, but just knowing his family and knowing that this happened. Like, this is, I don't know, this is just crazy to me. Anyway, it was very good. It was very good at the haunted elements. The ending was wild. Let me just tell you that. I did not predict where it was going. I don't think, honestly, you could predict where it was going. But I really enjoyed it. So, I had a great time with this one. This is the only one that I thoroughly liked. But I will say, like, please listen to me when I say this. If you cannot handle physical or mental abuse, like family, child abuse, if you can't handle animal abuse, if you can't handle religious trauma, religious abuse, like all these things, like if you can't handle demonic shit, like don't read this book. This book is not your cup of tea, okay? I don't even know it was my cup of tea. It was a little too much for me. But I'm going to read a nice fluffy book after this because I have on deck the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. That is what we are reading next, okay? So we are switching genres drastically. In the order of the way that I liked them, let's refresh. The best one was Haunt, 4.5 to 5 stars. Still debating on the final thing. Then we had How to Sell a Haunted House at 3 stars. And then we had Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey with 2 stars. And then we had Sad DNF of The Spite House. So this vlog went about as good as it could go, honestly, I suppose. So that be what it be. But with that, I hope you had fun with this. I should be coming to you with a video very soon on some book recommendations for my Get a Clue readathon, which if you don't know what that is, go look at the video from 2 weeks ago. Join a team. Be on any team that you want. I'm just the host, and I have wonderful co-hosts doing it with me. It's going to be a great time. Other than that, I will catch you guys in another spooky video very soon. Bye.